Welcome to Northeast Mississippi Community College. My name's LuAnne Ford, and my husband Ricky Ford is the president here at Northeast Community College, and today we're doing food with the First Lady. The recipe that we're going to do right now is called comforting chicken soup. Let me go ahead and add 8 cups of water. I hear my pot is calling to me. So the way we start this comforting chicken soup is to put 8 cups of water, plain old water, into our pot. We're going to now add either 8 chicken bouillon cubes, 1 for each cup of water, or 8 teaspoons of a chicken broth base, which is what I'm going to do. So 1 teaspoon of this broth base is going to be the same thing as 1 chicken bouillon cube. So I'm going to put, this is a tablespoon. A tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of those in there. We're going to get our lid, if I can find it. And, oh, I think it's right behind me. Hold on, guys. There it is. We'll get our lid, and we'll go ahead and let this come to a boil. And while it's coming to the boil, let me talk to you. Here at Northeast, we have a nutrition center, and that's where I am. I'm on the campus of Northeast at our nutrition center. And this is where we like to help our community be more healthy. Not only here at the nutrition center do we have classes to where we can help people to know how to eat better and more nutritious food. We also we do videos. I do videos like this. This is part of a video, as I said, called Food with the First Lady that are filmed here. And there are also yoga classes that are presented here. It's right here on the campus of Northeast. It's on 145, kind of right around the corner from the main drag, or what we call the boulevard here at Northeast. And you're welcome anytime to come here and to inquire about classes that you can take that are free of charge here, so we can all be more healthy. This video can be accessed through the Northeast Mississippi Community College fitness page, Facebook page, and also through the Northeast Community College YouTube channel. So after all that, we're going to get back to our comforting chicken soup. Let me tell you a little bit about this. I have 4 children. We have 4 children, and I have made this soup hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I went to college at Blue Mountain College, where my parents both taught. And it's a Baptist college, and there were a number of girls that I knew growing up who went to serve as missionaries. One of those missionaries was what we could call a home missionary, and she served at the University of Cincinnati with student groups. Well, she would send us, all of her friends and supporters, she would send monthly newsletters. And when I was still in high school, she sent out a newsletter with this recipe called comforting chicken soup. My mom made it, and I just fell in love with it. I've made it for hundreds of times, like I said, at my house for my children. First of all, it doesn't have any vegetables in it, so everybody likes it. We had a couple of sons and 2 daughters, and a lot of times the kids would come to our house to visit, and a lot of them would be finicky. They don't want to eat anything green or anything orange, heaven forbid. But they would eat this soup because it doesn't have any vegetables in it, just chicken and noodles. I've made it numerous times for our youth at the church. For years I was the minister of music here at First Baptist Church in Boonville, and we would feed our youth every week when we'd have youth choir practice. And I've made this for them numerous times. We would have it on choir tour, a mission trip. One of the reasons that people like this so much, besides the fact that it's absolutely delicious, is that it can be fixed with just pantry ingredients. So let's talk about what the ingredients are. What I put in here first was just ordinary water, and then I put, chicken bouillon. I've used the cubes. I've used just this broth base. If you did not want to use chicken broth, you could just use straight up vegetable broth, or you could just use water only. If you made your own chicken broth, then you could use your own chicken broth for it. You could just pull it right out of the pantry and make it on the spur of the moment. Well, our water's already come to a boil, so that's great. Now we're going to add to that 12 ounces of egg noodles. Now guys, at our store, I was not able to pick up 12 ounces, this is 16 ounces. So since we only want 12, I'm gonna go ahead and, let me turn this down a little bit, guys. I don't wanna lose my water. We're gonna go ahead, and I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it, and I'm gonna pinch off a third of it, and we're gonna keep a third of it in there. Robert, could you grab me a wooden spoon or something and I can stir this with? And I'm gonna go ahead and put those 12 ounces, well, maybe a little bit more, 12 ounces of noodles in there. Now, you can use any noodles that you want to. You can use the no yolk ones. You can use, what I got was the medium. Thank you, Robert, that'll be fine. This is Robert Walker, he's the head of the fitness center. Hey, Robert. Hey, we all get by with a little help from our friends, but he's the head honcho at the fitness center. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this. Guys, we're gonna go ahead and cook this for 8 minutes. I have found that 8 minutes works well. If I cook it too long, let me see what time it is. If I cook it too long, then they're gonna be soggy, and we don't want our noodles to be soggy. So we're gonna leave those in there and we'll let them cook for 8 minutes. So let me continue to talk to you. This particular recipe can be made just only with pantry ingredients, like I said. So we've got water, we've got the bouillon, we've got these that could be in your cabinet. You may have some noodles that have been in there for years. So just at the spur moment, you could make that. In addition, it calls for 3 cups of cooked chicken. Now, I always cook my chicken, but today I didn't because I found these 2 cans of chunk white chicken that were in the pantry. So I just drained them. They were big old chunks of chicken, and so I just took my hands and I broke them apart so there would be little pieces. You can see that there. So this right here is these 2 cans of chicken. Actually, the recipe calls for 3 cups of chicken meat. And I'm going to show you what I do with that chicken. I tell you what, Robert, if you could get me that, that little bag over there. What I do when I cook my chicken is this. If you saw earlier the potato soup recipe, or you can see it in a little bit, when you see that, you'll see how I cut up my onion and how I cut up my celery. So let me show you. When I cut it, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I cut up some celery and I cut the ends off. These are 2 ends. This is the bottom end and the top end of the celery. And I cut the 2 ends off of my onion. Okay, all right, let me turn this back on. So then what I do is I keep a bag like this in the freezer of all my ends of my celery and my onion. I put them in a bag. I also have the ends of carrots that I have cooked. So I put those in the freezer. Okay. Then when I get ready to cook chicken, if I don't have canned chicken, which I normally don't buy, I'll just take a chicken breast, I'll throw it in a pot, cover it with water, and I'll take some of these frozen ends of my celery, my carrots, and my onions, and I'll also sprinkle in a little bit of red pepper flakes and some salt. I'll cover it and I'll cook that chicken. Then when the chicken is done, I take the chicken breast is what I like to use. I'll take the chicken breast out, put it on my cutting board, and then what's left is chicken broth. I put a strainer on a container, and I pour the broth that has this in it that I cooked my chicken in. I pour it down through the strainer into a container, and I freeze it in 2-cup containers. Now, I didn't have any of that today, but that's what I do, and that's what I wanted to show you so that you don't waste anything. So we're going to come back in a little bit after this is cooked for 8 minutes, and then I'll show you how to finish up comforting chicken soup. All right, guys, we're back, and our noodles are just about done, and we're going to finish up our comforting chicken noodle soup. Let me remind you that all we've used is pantry ingredients except for one item. So what we've got is 6 cups of water. We've got 6 chicken bouillon cubes, or 6 teaspoons of broth base. And so we brought that to a boil. Once it came to a boil, we added our 12 ounces of egg noodles, and these are medium egg noodles because when you don't want to get too big of ones, because if you get the white egg noodles and you put it on a spoon, you're trying to get it to your mouth and it's sliding off, and so that's kind of a problem. And I've got a big mouth, so anyway, I like to use the medium ones. So that's come to a boil, and we put that in there, and so we have cooked them for 8 minutes. All right, we're gonna add 3 cups of chicken, and what we used, if you have some of these in the pantry, you can just grab those. We use this, or you can cook your chicken and break it up, and I told you how I did that and how I cooked that with the ends of my celery and onions and carrots, so on and so forth. So the other ingredients are this. We've got 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, and we have 1 cup of sour cream. Now this is 16 ounces. 1 cup is going to be 8 ounces. So we do not drain this because I want to keep all of my broth in there. So I went ahead and measured out 1 cup of sour cream, which is 8 ounces. You can buy an 8-ounce container. We've got a 16-ounce can here, so I just measured out a cup, and I'm going to turn this up. So we're going to go ahead and let that's going to melt in there. That's 1 cup of sour cream. We did not drain it, remember guys. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Now, this is also a pantry staple. You know, I like to buy it around Christmas time. This stuff goes on sale. Of course, it'll be good for a year or more. But I just buy it then when it goes on special and keep it, so I have it. I don't use cream of chicken soup a lot. It's a prepared item, and I'm not crazy about using prepared items. You can go online and you can actually find a recipe for your own condensed cream of chicken soup. And if you want to do that, you certainly could do that as well. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about whatever preservatives might be in that. All right, so like I said, we've got 2 cans of the cream of chicken soup. We've got I'm making a mess here. We've got 1 cup of sour cream, and then to that we're going to add 3 cups of chicken. And this, of course, was the chicken breast in a can. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Now, let's see, guys, if y'all can get into this pot, you will see our accompanying chicken noodle soup. Now, the longer it sits, the thicker it'll get. So if you like it thinner, then I'd serve it up right now. If you like it thicker, then I would put my lid on it, turn it off, and let it sit. And you can warm it up. If you want to warm it up the next day and it's a little bit too thick, you can always add a little milk to it or water to it or whatever. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm almost positive that you're going to. I've given this recipe out, again, hundreds of times. So enjoy your comforting chicken noodle soup.